Hello, I'm Jeff Cavins, and today we're looking at the readings from the 32nd Sunday in Ordinary Time. You know, the greatest fear that most of us have is the fear of death. We do everything that we can do to avoid death. We buy insurance, and we have health insurance, and we have all kinds of medical plans, and we don't want anything to do with death, much less suffer. In today's readings, both in 2 Maccabees and Luke chapter 20, we see the story of 7 brothers. 7's an interesting number because it really speaks of covenant, it speaks of covenant faithfulness. And we see in the Old Testament, we see that there are 7 brothers that were persecuted, and they died and gave up their life for what seems to be something so small. It's over pork. And you might say to yourself, well, why would someone give their life over a BLT sandwich or whatever it might be? And it isn't the pork that is really the focus of the story, but it's the small things. It's the details. It's the ditch that you will die in. You see, for the Christian, every aspect of our life is very, very important. And we live our lives with the hope of the resurrection. In fact, in 2 Maccabees chapter 7, the 4th brother is being tortured, and at the very end of his life, he says, literally, he says that it is my choice to die with the hope that God gives of being raised again. In the New Testament, we find the same situation with the Sadducees. The Sadducees worked around the temple, and they were an interesting group of people because they didn't really believe in the resurrection, and they only believed in the first 5 books of Moses. Sometimes it stumps me to think about the Sadducees, fighting over the law and living their life with no hope of resurrection at all. And they try to stump Jesus with a story about 7 brothers. But Jesus confronts them, and he says that not only is he God, but he is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who to the Sadducees are dead, but in reality, they're not. They are alive. I want to encourage you today to live your life in light of the resurrection. And that means that we are willing to give our lives to Jesus, even in the details of life. We're willing to die for the faith and in the big ticket items too. If you live your life in light of the resurrection, it will change your heart, and it will give you courage to confront the vices that you are dealing with, the enemy, because you have the hope of the resurrection. Paul talks about the resurrection, and he says that if the resurrection isn't true, your faith is in vain. So we might as well eat, drink, and be merry, because this is all there is. But this is not all there is. We have the hope of heaven. So whether it's a BLT or whether it's a big ticket item in your life, be faithful. Remember the number 7, covenant. Jesus has been faithful with us. He died, but he rose from the dead. And now we will rise with him.